Welcome to this immersive walking tour through the heart of the Eternal City. In just under an hour, we'll explore 7 unforgettable chapters of Rome, starting with the Colosseum and Roman Forum, from its ancient arches to the storied Via dei Fori Imperiali. We'll continue to Castel Sant'Angelo, once a fortress, now a rooftop haven with sweeping views of the Tiber. Then it's time to step into the divine geometry of the Pantheon, where history meets harmony. We'll climb Capitoline Hill to Altare della Patria, crossing Rome's political and symbolic heights before heading toward the flowing waters and elegant steps between Trevi Fountain to Spanish Steps. From there, we'll meander from Bocca della Verità to Navona, touching legends, islands, and fountains. And finally, we slow down in Rome's hidden corners and quiet nights, where secret alleys and local charm light up the city after dark. Welcome to a walking tour in Rome. This time we will guide you from Capitoline Hill to Altare della Patria. This is not just another video. We'll give you all the details on what to see, what to do, and how to explore this fascinating area. We begin at the historic Capitoline Hill, its stunning square, museums, and the famous she-wolf statue. Then, we'll take a look at the Foro Romano and how to visit it, as well as an ancient Roman apartment block next to this famous hill. Next, we'll show you how to visit the incredible Vittoriano for free and everything else you can see nearby, from the Colosseum and its pedestrian area to Foro di Augusto, and even a lesser-known ancient theater by Rome's small river. Finally, we'll go over transport options to and from the area. So make sure to enable subtitles in your language, and let's get started. Our journey begins at the Coordinata Capitolina, the magnificent sloping staircase designed by Michelangelo himself. Each step carries us higher, retracing the footsteps of ancient Romans, visiting dignitaries and modern travelers alike. The paving stones beneath us whisper stories of the past, guiding us toward one of the most breathtaking squares in Rome, Piazza del Campidoglio. As we step onto the elegant Capitoline Square, we're surrounded by grandeur. Three remarkable buildings dominate the scene. To our left, Palazzo Nuovo, home to the Capitoline Museums, where masterpieces of Roman sculpture, including the famous Dying Gaul, await. At the center is Palazzo Senatorio, the historic seat of Rome's city government, adorned with an impressive staircase. To our right, Palazzo dei Conservatori houses even more treasures, priceless paintings, intricate frescoes, and fragments of colossal ancient statues. But just behind these grand structures lies a symbol of Rome's very identity, the she-wolf of Rome. This small yet powerful statue tells the legendary tale of Romulus and Remus, the twin brothers raised by a she-wolf whose story gave birth to the eternal city. Moving forward, we reach a breathtaking panoramic view of the Roman Forum. We look out over the heart of ancient Rome, where emperors ruled, senators debated, and gladiators once walked. Just ahead, we find the Isola Romana, an ancient Roman apartment complex. This structure offers a rare glimpse into everyday life. Multi-story housing blocks were home to common citizens, bustling with merchants, artisans, and families. Before we set foot inside the Grand Vittoriano, let's take a moment to talk about what you're seeing, or rather, what you would see if you were standing here today. Right now, Piazza Venezia is not the open, bustling square that many visitors remember. Instead, it's a massive construction site, part of Rome's ambitious expansion of Metro Line C. To give you a clearer view of the area, we're using footage we shot before the works began. The current Metro C line runs from the eastern suburbs of Rome, with its last operational stop at San Giovanni, where it connects with the existing Metro A line. The next completed stop will be Colosseum, Fori Imperiali, expected to open before this stretch reaches Piazza Venezia. This station will provide a direct metro link to the Roman Forum and Colosseum, transforming access to these iconic sites. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. When the Piazza Venezia station is completed, it will be one of the deepest in Rome, descending over 30 meters or more underground. And because no construction project in Rome comes without unearthing history, this station will also feature an underground museum displaying the ancient ruins and artifacts discovered during the excavation. Now we've made it to the Vittoriano, and what a view. From up here, Rome stretches out in all directions. Ancient ruins, Renaissance domes, and bustling streets, all woven together in a breathtaking panorama. So let's talk about this striking monument. Officially known as the Altare della Patria, or the Victor Emmanuel II National Monument, it was built to honor Italy's first king, Victor Emmanuel II, who played a crucial role in the unification of Italy. Before this grand white marble structure stood here, the area was filled with medieval buildings, which were unfortunately demolished to make way for the monument in the late 19th century. Construction began in 1885 and lasted several decades, with the final touches added after World War I. The monument is a symbol of Italian patriotism, housing the tomb of the unknown soldier, guarded by an eternal flame and two solemn soldiers. And what about visiting? Entrance to the Vittoriano itself is free, so you can explore its grand staircases, museums, and memorials at no cost. However, if you want to reach the very top for the most stunning 360-degree views of Rome, there's a panoramic elevator, which costs €12 per person. But trust me, the view is worth it. Standing here, looking out over the Eternal City, it's easy to see why this monument is such a powerful landmark, a bridge between Rome's past and its present. Yes, that's the Colosseum in the distance. It may seem far, but as you can see, it's actually a pleasant walk from here. We've covered it and the Roman Forum and Palatine Hill in separate videos. One of the best parts about this area is that Via dei Fori Imperiali, the road stretching between the Colosseum and Piazza Venezia, is usually pedestrianized. That means you can take a leisurely stroll, soaking in the grandeur of ancient Rome as you go. To your right, you get a fantastic glimpse of the Roman Forum, the very heart of ancient Roman life. While the view from here is nice, we highly recommend buying a ticket to explore it up close. It's an experience that truly brings history to life. But here's something many visitors overlook: the imperial forums to our left. First, we have the Forum of Trajan, built in 112 AD by Emperor Trajan, featuring the iconic Trajan's Column, a beautifully carved pillar that narrates his military victories. Next is the Forum of Augustus, constructed by Emperor Augustus in 2 BC, with its imposing remains of the Temple of Mars Ultor. Just a quick tip: avoid walking here right at sunset, unless you want an unexpected Roman souvenir. For some bizarre reason, that's when the birds decide it's target practice time. So, unless you're feeling lucky, maybe bring an umbrella or practice your dodging skills. In the distance, you'll spot what looks like a mini Colosseum, but don't be fooled. That's the Theater of Marcellus, built way before the Colosseum, around 13 BC, under Emperor Augustus. It was Rome's grand open-air theater, hosting plays and performances. And here's a fun twist: people still live in the upper levels today. This little square before the park? That's Piazza Venezia, a handy bus stop. But even better, just behind it you'll find the Tram 8 stop. This tram can zip you to the Colosseum, connect with the metro at Manzoni, or take you straight to Trastevere for some amazing food and nightlife. And that's a wrap on our journey from Capitoline Hill to the Vittoriano. From ancient ruins to breathtaking views, Rome never fails to impress. But trust me, there's so much more to explore. So, if you love history, travel, and avoiding surprise bird attacks at sunset, hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Welcome to Rome, a city where history whispers from every cobblestone. Today we're taking you on a short but iconic walk, from the world-famous Trevi fountain to the elegant Spanish steps. You've probably seen dozens of videos on these spots already. We get it, but this one's different. We're diving deeper into their past, their transformations over time, the rules you might not know, and the stories carved into every marble curve. These places are absolutely free to visit, packed day and night and just a few minutes apart, yet they each hold centuries of beauty and controversy. So, lace up your shoes, slow your pace, and let's walk through the beating heart of Rome, past splashing waters, bustling crowds, and into living history. We begin our walk at one of Rome's most iconic and truly cinematic landmarks, the Fontana di Trevi. Now you've seen it in movies, postcards, and probably 1,000 Instagram reels, but standing here, hearing the thunder of the water, watching the stones shimmer in sunlight or under street lamps, it hits different. It's more than just beautiful, it's alive with history. Let's go back, way back. The fountain marks the terminal point of the Aqua Virgo Aqueduct, completed in 19 BC under Marcus Agrippa. That aqueduct has been flowing for over 2,000 years, no joke, and it's still the one supplying water to this fountain today. That continuity alone makes it extraordinary. The name Trevi comes from Trevi, 3 streets, because they converge right at this spot. And while the fountain we see now is Baroque, this location has always held significance. Romans have gathered here for water and ritual for centuries. The current fountain was commissioned in the early 1700s by Pope Clement XII, who launched a design competition. The chosen architect was Nicola Salvi, who began work in 1732. Sadly, he didn't live to see it completed. That honor went to Giuseppe Panini, who wrapped it up in 1762. The centerpiece? Oceanus, or Neptune, standing tall in a shell-shaped chariot. Two seahorses charge forward, one wild, one calm, representing the sea's dual nature. Tritons guide them through sculpted waves, while statues symbolizing abundance and health frame the scene, tying water to the soul of Roman life. It's not just art, it's theater in stone. The Trevi fountain has seen several restorations over the years. Pollution, weathering, and vandalism have taken their toll. The biggest overhaul in recent times came in 2014, thanks to a sponsorship by Fendi, the luxury fashion house. It took over a year, with workers meticulously cleaning, reinforcing, and even installing a modern LED lighting system, all while maintaining its original 18th century elegance. And yes, vandalism is a recurring problem. Over the years, people have dyed the water, climbed into the fountain, even chipped off pieces. You might remember news stories where tourists were caught wading in. A big no-no. That's why today, sitting along the edge is banned, and so is dipping your feet or lingering too close. Security is tight, and police are constantly patrolling to keep the monument safe. There have even been discussions, serious ones, about charging an entrance fee, especially during peak hours. Nothing's been implemented yet, but it reflects the growing pressure to manage the overwhelming crowds and preserve the site. And those crowds, they never stop. Day and night, year-round, the piazza is full of people, snapping photos, tossing coins, and soaking in the magic. The legend says if you throw a coin with your right hand over your left shoulder, you'll return to Rome one day. Every day, over 3,000 euros worth of coins land in that basin. Not bad, right? But the best part? That money is collected regularly and donated to Caritas, a local charity that supports the poor and homeless in Rome. So your wish helps someone else too. A small but powerful tradition. If you're after a quieter moment, you've got two options. Arrive very early, around sunrise, or super late, close to midnight. That's when the city slows down just a bit, and you can really hear the water echo through the stone alleyways around you. Fewer phones, less chatter, more soul. So take one last look. Let the sound of the fountain linger with you. Then we'll head around the corner, just a 7-minute walk, to our next stop, the grand staircase of the Spanish Steps. We've made it, just a few minutes walk from the Trevi fountain, to another of Rome's postcard-perfect spots, Piazza di Spagna, home of the Spanish Steps. This place feels theatrical, romantic, even dreamlike. You see people perched, or rather standing now, on every level, admiring the view, soaking in the atmosphere. But let's rewind. The name Piazza di Spagna comes from the Spanish embassy, located here since the 1600s. That's right, the steps aren't Spanish, but the embassy gave the area its name. The actual staircase? That's the Scalinata della Trinità dei Monti, and it was built between 1723 and 1725. Funded by the French, designed by Francesco de Sanctis, it was created to connect the embassy below to the Trinità dei Monti church above, which, by the way, is still French territory. The design is genius, 135 steps arranged in elegant curves and terraces that soften the climb and give space to pause, reflect, or snap the perfect photo. The steps were meant to impress, and they still do. But here's something many don't know. They've gone through several restorations, the most recent in 2016, again funded by a fashion house, this time Bulgari. Rome's luxury brands are really stepping up, no pun intended, to keep its landmarks alive. And yes, you'll see signs and officers reminding you, no sitting on the steps. That law came into effect in 2019. You can walk, stand, and admire, but sitting, that'll get you a whistle and a fine. It's about preserving the marble and keeping foot traffic moving, especially with so many tourists passing through every hour. One thing you won't see in this video, the Fontana della Barcaccia, the little boat-shaped fountain at the base. It's lovely, but today we're focusing on the staircase itself, the real star of this square. Crowds here are no joke. Like the Trevi fountain, it's always busy, especially in spring and early summer when the steps are decked out with blooming azaleas. But even at night, this place glows. Street musicians play, tourists drift by, and the view from the top, breathtaking. This isn't just a staircase, it's a stage for selfies, lovers, and history alike. But our journey doesn't end here. We'd love to hear from you. Which stop was your favorite? Is there a particular moment that stood out to you? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're planning your own visit, we hope this guide has inspired you and made your trip easier to plan. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more travel adventures. Welcome to Rome, a city where time folds like pages in an ancient book, and every stone seems to whisper its own tale. Today we're setting off on foot, wandering from the fabled Bocca della Verità to the ever-buzzing Piazza Navona. This isn't just a walk, it's a journey through centuries. From marble temples to river islands, secret keyholes to hidden gardens, and lively piazzas that transform with the setting sun. We'll dodge scooters, sip in the shadows of ruins, and linger at spots you might have missed if you didn't look twice. Grab your walking shoes and imagination, because Rome is best explored step by step, with a story at every turn. Ready? Let's begin. Our journey begins at one of Rome's most mysterious icons, the Bocca della Verità, or Mouth of Truth. This ancient stone face is said to bite the hand of any liar, so of course we had to test it. No worries, all fingers still intact. Just behind it stands the Church of Santa Maria in Cosmedin, with its soft medieval gloom and a crypt that hums with centuries of silence. It's a place that feels older than memory itself. Step outside, and you're in the Foro Boario, once a bustling cattle market in ancient Rome. Amid the quiet now stands the Fountain of the Tritons, burbling gently, and nearby, the curious round temple known as the Tempio di Ercole Vincitore, the oldest surviving marble building in Rome. It's perfectly circular, delicate, and still standing proud after 2,000 years. At the top of the Aventine Hill, we find ourselves wrapped in quiet greenery at the Giardino di Sant'Angelo, a secret corner where Rome seems to exhale. Just around the bend is the legendary Aventine keyhole, set into the door of the Priory of the Knights of Malta. The view was blocked during our visit, but normally, through that tiny circle, you see a perfectly framed path of hedges, leading your eye straight to St. Peter's Basilica. It's not a coincidence, it was designed that way. This spot belongs to the Church of Santa Maria del Priorato, a rare example of Roman Baroque with a surreal, almost dreamlike facade. The church stands quietly inside its own walled garden, where ancient symbols of the knights still linger in the stone and air. The garden itself, usually closed to the public, hints at ceremonial paths and sacred geometry, a world just barely out of reach. Back in the Giardino di Sant'Angelo, we pause beneath tall pines. The view from here is sweeping. Rome's rooftops, golden and sun-drenched, stretch into a soft, endless sprawl. In the far right distance, nestled in the curve of the Tiber, floats Isola Tiberina. That's where we'll go next. But here we linger a little longer, in silence, in shade, in story. Quietly in the bend of the Tiber River, Isola Tiberina is one of Rome's most unexpected treasures. Small, serene, and floating like a stone ship, It's a place many pass by without even knowing it's there. To reach it, you can cross from either side of the river. From Trastevere, there's the Ponte Cestio, and from the historic center, the ancient Ponte Fabricio, the oldest Roman bridge still in use today. Each path feels like a soft step into a parallel Rome, one that moves at its own gentle pace. In ancient times, the island was feared, believed to have formed over the body of a deposed tyrant. But centuries transformed it into a sanctuary. The Fate Benefratelli Hospital, still active today, stands where the Temple of Aesculapius once offered healing. Carved into stone, you might notice a snake coiled around a staff, the ancient sign of medicine. In the summertime, this quiet island awakens. There's an open-air cinema with films projected under the stars. The banks are lined with bars and restaurants, spilling light and music along the river's edge. Locals gather for an aperitivo. Children dart between cafe tables, and somewhere, there's always a soft melody drifting through the dusk. Look back and you'll see the Aventine Hill still watching. Ahead lies Piazza Navona, our final stop. In the day, Piazza Navona is a burst of light and sound. Fountains sparkle, street performers draw small crowds, and artists set up their easels, offering sketches and caricatures to passers-by. The square curves in a long oval. It's one of the largest open spaces in Rome, and its shape echoes the Stadium of Domitian, buried just below your feet. You can feel the centuries crowding around you, but wait until night falls. When the sun sets over Rome, Piazza Navona doesn't go to sleep, it begins to glow. By night, the square fills with a different kind of magic. Tables extend far out from cafes, candlelight flickers against wine glasses, and the soft hum of conversation wraps the space like music. Tourists stop to watch artists working by lamplight. Here, you can still pose for a caricature or have your portrait sketched, capturing yourself in charcoal and ink beneath the Roman sky. Some artists have worked here for decades, becoming as much a fixture as the fountains themselves. The massive oval shape of the square, once the track of the ancient Stadium of Domitian, feels even grander at night. With a length of nearly 300 meters, it becomes a stage lit by golden lamplight. There's no traffic here, no rush, just the quiet energy of a city that knows how to slow down. At the center, Bernini's Fountain of the Four Rivers becomes dramatic in the shadows. The sculpted gods, representing the Nile, Danube, Ganges, and Rio della Plata, look almost alive, their muscles catching the light, their expressions caught in eternal motion. Water flows gently, echoing across the cobblestones. Above it all, the obelisk points skyward, a spine of ancient stone linking past to present. To one side of the square, the majestic Palazzo Pamphilj rises, once home to Pope Innocent X. Today, it houses the Brazilian embassy, but still carries echoes of papal power. Attached to it is the elegant church of Sant'Angelo in Agone, a Baroque jewel by Borromini, whose soft curves and twin bell towers seem to lean into the square with grace. Opposite, the Museo di Roma, housed in Palazzo Braschi, offers a quieter story of noble Roman families, lost traditions, and lives that once played out behind these walls. Around the square, the cultural influence stretches wide. This piazza has long drawn foreign artists, writers, and diplomats. Piazza Navona feels at times like the center of the world. As we near the end of our walk, we pause one last time, right in the center of it all. Rome breathes differently here. And under the stars, Piazza Navona doesn't just glow, it remembers. We'd love to hear from you. Which stop was your favorite? Is there a particular moment that stood out to you? Do you have a question? Please leave a comment. If our videos add a sprinkle of joy to your travels, show some love by liking, subscribing, hitting that notification bell, and staying tuned for more. This is a walking tour of Rome, but with a twist. It's split into two parts. The first part, we take you through areas you might not even know exist, off the usual tourist path. You'll discover unexpected corners and unique perspectives of the city. And in the second part, we'll revisit some iconic places, but at the right time. We'll share tips on how to enjoy these spots when they're less crowded and more magical. So whether it's your first time here or your fifth, stay with us. Rome always has another side to show you, if you know when and where to look. We start at something most people don't expect to see in Rome, a pyramid. That's right, this is the Pyramid of Cestius. Built around 12 BC, when Egyptomania swept through Rome, it's one of the city's most unique monuments. It sits just outside Porta San Paolo, one of the ancient city gates, and blends into everyday life like it's no big deal. But take a moment to walk around it. The graffiti-covered wall, the passing trams, the commuters rushing by. It's where ancient history meets modern rhythm. Right next to the pyramid, Porta San Paolo stands firm, a piece of Rome's Aurelian walls. It's one of the best preserved gates. The walls feel massive, and if you stand still long enough, you can almost hear the echoes of chariots passing through. A short walk away, tucked in plain sight, is a modest yet powerful memorial. Tutti potenziali bersagli, or we are all potential targets. It's a reminder of those lost to terrorism in Italy. It's small, subtle, and often missed, but it speaks volumes. Take a moment, read the names, let it sit with you. Here, among modern traffic and ruins, is where Julius Caesar was assassinated. The Largo di Torre Argentina looks like a collapsed city center frozen in time, and you'll likely notice a few cats lounging in the sun. It's also home to a cat sanctuary. History and furballs, only in Rome. During the day, Campo de Fiori turns into a colorful open-air market. Stalls fill the square with fresh fruit, vegetables, cheeses, spices, flowers, you name it. Locals come to shop, tourists stop to take pictures, and the smell of roasted coffee drifts from nearby cafes. Vendors shout their prices. The cobblestones are busy with footsteps, and sunlight bounces off the surrounding ochre facades. It's lively, it's loud, and it's full of that everyday Roman charm. At night, the energy shifts. The market is gone, but people gather again, this time around the statue of Giordano Bruno, not Dante as some think. He was a philosopher, burned at the stake here in 1600. Now, students, locals, and travelers sit on the base of the monument, sipping drinks, sharing stories. It's a popular meeting spot, gritty and raw, but very Roman. You'll hear laughter, music from someone's phone, the occasional bottle clink. It's messy, imperfect, and full of life. Trastevere is one of those places that just feels different, like you've wandered into a small Italian village tucked inside the city. During the day, it's laid back, but at night, it transforms. Especially on weekends, the alleys come alive. Young people gather in the tiny streets, talking, laughing, sometimes singing, right there between the old walls. You'll hear guitar strumming, conversations in many languages, and the occasional group bursting into song. It's chaotic, but welcoming. One of the most popular meeting points is the Fontana di Santa Maria in Trastevere, in the square right outside the church. It's not just a place to sit, it's where people wait for friends, share a drink, eat gelato, or simply hang out and watch the night go by. But you'll also notice something less charming: trash. Rome struggles with waste management. Sometimes the bins overflow. It's frustrating, and as a visitor, it's not a great look. Still, the spirit of Trastevere pushes through. It's raw, it's alive, and it's unforgettable. Trastevere has become one of Rome's most famous destinations, not just for its beauty, but for its spirit. People don't come here for big monuments, they come for the vibe. It's the mix of ivy-covered buildings, old churches, and streets filled with music and laughter. Don't be afraid of the crowds, they're part of the charm. It's messy, spontaneous, and full of life. Piazza del Popolo at night feels like an entirely different place. Quiet, still. The grand obelisk and twin churches look more cinematic under soft lights. Late at night, St. Peter's Square feels like a completely different world. There are no lines, no crowds, no tour groups, just silence. The lights glow softly on the cobblestones, and the basilica itself stands peacefully under the night sky. It's one of the few times you can take in its scale without distractions. Even the fountains sound louder in the quiet. Whether you're religious or not, it's a calming, almost sacred moment. From Ponte Umberto I, you get what might be the most iconic night view in all of Rome. The calm Tiber flows beneath you, and across the water, perfectly lined up in the distance, is the softly lit dome of St. Peter's Basilica. Just below it, you can see Ponte Sant'Angelo, glowing gently in the night, its angel statues only just visible from here. That layered composition, river, bridge, dome, is why photographers love this spot. Many stay for hours, capturing time-lapse videos as the lights shift and the sky turns dark. To the right, if you look closely near the Italian flag, you can just make out Castel Sant'Angelo, barely lit but unmistakable. Piazza Navona is one of Rome's most iconic squares, but timing makes all the difference. If you come during fall or spring, on a weekday evening, the crowds are thinner and the atmosphere is much more relaxed. You'll still find plenty of restaurants with outdoor seating and those mushroom heaters glowing warmly beside the tables. People dine slowly, savoring their pasta and wine under the soft light of the street lamps and the glow of Bernini's fountains. The Fontana dei Quattro Fiumi trickles in the background, and you can actually hear it without the constant buzz of daytime tourists. The whole square feels like it's taking a deep breath. If you're looking to end your night with a calm, elegant vibe, this is the spot. It's romantic, atmospheric, and still very Roman. And that's the end of our walk, at least for tonight. We've seen quieter sides of famous places, wandered through lesser-known corners, and caught a few peaceful moments most visitors miss. But trust us, this isn't everything. Rome has countless spots like these, especially if you explore at night or off-season. So, if you enjoyed this slower, more intimate side of Rome, stick with us. We'd love to hear from you. Which stop was your favorite? Is there a particular moment that stood out to you? Do you have a question? Please leave a comment. If our videos add a sprinkle of joy to your travels, show some love by liking, subscribing, hitting that notification bell, and staying tuned for more.